For today's video, we are going to be getting ready, prepping for a new moon ritual. So I'm going to be sharing some of the things that I like to use when I'm doing a new moon ritual. As a celebration for 40,000 subscribers here on my channel, I'm going to be doing a live stream on Sunday. I will link all of the information below. I'd love to see you there. We are going to be doing a live stream. New moon ritual together. So I thought, for those of you who wanted to join, it could be all ready. Now, for a new moon ritual, I like to plant seeds and do manifestations. And for my full moon rituals, I like to do clearing rituals. So I have some stones that I use no matter what kind of manifestation I'm focusing on, and then a few specific stones that could inspire you depending on what you're moving through. So why don't I just go ahead and get started chatting through a few things that we're going to be using for our new moon ritual. Because this is on the top of the notebooks, we'll talk about this first. So I love to use candles when I'm doing any kind of ritual work. I really like this candle. It was locally crafted and it is a selenite rose. So we will be lighting our candle. That was a funny one. So once we light our candle, we would set our intention. For this, I always like to have a sacred ashtray of sorts. This bologna shell, which looks a little messy right now, This is what I like to use. It's not very clean, but for my sacred ashtray, it was given to me by my grandmother. It's an abalone shell. As you can see, it's much loved and much used in my practice. So we would light our candle and set our intention. So having a candle would be great, particularly one that you enjoy, that you like. It doesn't have to be fancy or expensive or anything, but one that makes you feel a little special. I think anything like that can be helpful. Clear quartz. Clear quartz is a really great stone for any manifesting, but any rituals in general. I'd say if you were going to get one stone, you're starting your collection, clear quartz would be a great one. It's programmable, so you can intend for it to act like a different stone. So it's a really great one. It has a lot of wonderful properties that will help us in our manifestations. So we'll get to that later, but I wanted to mention it while I move it. So having a notebook handy can be really helpful for these manifestations. It's nice to kind of take stock of where we've been and where we're going and kind of where we are in our journey for a number of reasons. Not the least of which is that sometimes if we're feeling a little low, or maybe there's some self-doubt that's creeping in, we can look back and just sort of see how far we've come. Forgive my little finger, I burned it right there. And we can really use it as an opportunity for beautiful self-reflection. Maybe there's some things that we've been struggling with for a long time, and so that can be just a reminder to focus on that. So I'm not actually gonna delve too much into this notebook because all of these, except this one, both of these, have my secrets. But I think we'll be safe. Let's see. Okay. Here we go. So I really like notebooks where you can open them fully. Like so. And even wrap them around. So you'll need a writing utensil, or a pen or a pencil, and you can either write in the notebook in order to be able to look back and reflect on your previous manifestations. But I like to save my manifestations in order to look back on them, but I also like creating grids. So I will either tear out a page from one of my notebooks and fold it up and place it on my crystal grid for that moon cycle. Or I have some parchment, it's some vegan parchment, not animal parchment. Someone asked me about that recently. But vegan parchments, and I will just use that in the crystal grid. But you can really use anything that works for you. You can use your phone. The way that I see all of this kind of work is it's about our intention. So if we don't have access to a notebook or some parchment or even paper, maybe we don't have any paper, then you can write it in your phone. You could take a crystal and write it in the air. You could write it in the ground. I like to do that on the full moon, especially if I'm able to go outside or go to the beach. I like writing for the full moon things I want to clear. And then with the sunset, letting the water wash over it, clear it. This is my first time doing a video with this kind of setup, and so it might be a little clunky. You'll need some spray. You don't need any spray, but I'm going to be using some spray, and that might be helpful. So this is going to be for a few reasons: to tap into the elements of water and also air. So I am going to use some purified water and some essential oils for the spray. And so that could be really useful. We can use this to clear. We can use this to seal our intention. Sprays are really great for creating a more potent atmosphere. We'll also be using smoke to clear. Even though, like I said, I like using new moon energy for manifesting, I do like to clear as well on the new moon, just to make sure that I'm starting with a clean slate. So you can use some sage, you could use some incense, you could use Palo Santo. And I want to stress, this is a suggestion. Anything that you have, if all you want to participate is just to receive this or set the intention in your head, that's completely fine as well. Just going outside and bathing in the darkness of the new moon and setting an intention for yourself, that can be really powerful. So I want to emphasize that you don't need anything. You don't need anything. But this is what I'll be using. And these things can be helpful and kind of fun. Selenite, here's a tower. And here's a little selenite stick. Doesn't it have a light sound? These are both great. Selenite, Selene, connected to the moon. It's a very, very good stone to have available during any moon rituals. So selenite is associated with clearing, purifying. A lot of people use selenite for amplifying energy, so it really is a nice one to have present while you're doing a ritual like this. For manifesting specifically, we'll start now to move on to our crystals. We have this amethyst, and you obviously don't need a large stone like this, but you can use an amethyst, which would be great for manifesting. Very spiritually aligned stone. I love having amethyst when I'm manifesting. I feel like it keeps me connected to my highest self while I'm asking for things that I want. Another one that's great for manifesting is citrine. Citrine. This stone is a great stone of joy and prosperity. It's a really sunny stone. Obviously, this is a cluster, but citrine comes in all different forms. You could get a little citrine point, which would just be one of these little points separated from the cluster. And it comes in different colors. Can be much lighter yellow, or it can be this deep amber color. It's a really beautiful stone. But as you can see, it has this white leading up, almost an ombre, up to the darker point. So that's another stone that's great for manifesting. A stone that I always like to use for manifesting is labradorite. What a magical stone. I remember being told that the little flashes represent the wishes that you make, and they help remind you that they're coming true. So this is a great stone. I love using it to help manifest, and I almost always have it with me for new moon rituals. Great stone. Another one for manifesting is red garnet. This is a great stone for manifesting. The color on this is not very vibrant. It's got kind of a dull color. I don't have a vibrant piece here. But it's a very deep red stone. And this is associated with manifesting. It's a good one to have for these kinds of rituals. Pyrite. Pyrite can come in these clusters, or it can come in a cubic form. It's a cubic stone. It grows in these really interesting geometric cubes. So if you were to zoom in very closely to this cluster, you would be able to see, hundreds of little cubes in there. And so if you go to an esoteric shop or something like that, you might see one of these little things that's about this size, a large little cube. And it's also called fool's gold. So you might be familiar with it, but it's another great one for manifesting, particularly manifesting financial prosperity and abundance. All right, one more stone that I like to use when manifesting is This is a green aventurine heart-based stone. I love using this. It's a great stone for success in your endeavors, and that's a large aspect of this new moon coming up, which we'll talk about on Sunday. It's a stone really that I like to associate with success in your endeavors, whatever they might be. And I guess one more for manifesting that I almost always use is jade. Jade is a great stone of luck, and it's another stone that's associated with money. But it's a great stone for manifesting work, helping us, really tap into that lucky side. So, there we go. I think anytime we're doing rituals, it can be nice to have a little reminder of love. Rose quartz is great for that. You can use a larger piece, or I have a few small pieces, and you can use this. You can even just kind of hold it or have it near you. But it's a nice one just to invite in universal love and compassion for yourself, love for others, so that when you are manifesting things like success or money, there's love at the core of that. It can also be helpful if we are manifesting love, more self-love. The new moon for me, in the darkness of the new moon, it's a beautiful time for a fresh start, to plant new seeds. For this new moon, if you have any soil, or if you have anything like sand or a little bit of dirt, that's going to be really helpful, because I'm going to actually be planting the manifestations after I write them, if you're open for that. So if you're manifesting love, then you could use rose quartz to support that. If you're manifesting and planting the seeds of compassion and self-love for yourself, or if you are manifesting the love of another, it's really going to be about inviting in a love of self first, as always. Another thing that you might be manifesting is perhaps peace within a relationship, manifesting and planting the seeds of really gentle and loving communication, better understanding. Ruby and fuchsite is a great one for that, and this one kind of has some natural little pink hearts in it. So this is a nice one to invite in. I like using this for arguments, to sort of remind myself to see from the other person's perspective. Now, I know a few of you are experiencing physical pain and illness. So for manifesting with anything like that, I like to use turquoise. Turquoise, I think, is probably one of my favorite stones to use for anything like physical pain or ailments. So that's a nice one to invite in. Now, if you're trying to release something like anger, I would, generally reserve that for the full moon, but anything is open. Just set your intention clearly enough. But if you, let's say, wanted to, you've released your anger or been practicing that release of anger over these moon cycles, but you wanted to, let's say, figure out or carve a path of the best way to move through anger. I'm taking anger specifically based on some conversations we've had in the comments. But let's say that we're moving through any emotion. I would say we could use a carnelian for supporting and nurturing and planting seeds that have to do with moving through difficult emotions. But this is aragonite, and I'm not sure how well you can see it, but it's a beautiful stone Here, I'll bring it on this side. That's great for kind of placing our anger in the appropriate place. So instead of misplacing and misguiding our anger, it's got a very specific place to go. Kind of seeing more clearly and knowing where to sort of send and guide our anger so it doesn't just kind of explode. We place it in specific areas, validating our feelings and moving through them. So this can be a sort of helpful one to support our guiding our emotions, intense emotions. So looks like this is basically all that I wanted to cover today. This was a little all over the place, but hopefully you got something out of it. I hope that you can join for the live stream on Sunday. All of the information will be below in the description box. And thank you again so much for 40,000 subscribers. I really am just so, I can't believe it. So thank you. It just means so much to me that you are here and that you have chosen to show your support with that subscription. So thank you. Really, thank you. So in honor of that, we'll be seeing each other hopefully on Sunday. The video that I was going to publish today is going to be released next Wednesday, but I thought this would be really nice for us to just move through all of these little things before the new moon so that you can be all prepped and ready to go. Okay, well, I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day or night, whatever it is that you are doing. And until next time, be well. You're just making sure that your little friend is receiving the kind of care and attention that they need. And so, you can already start to kind of do some hands-on healing. So make sure that you set an intention on behalf of Georgie's highest, wisest, most empowered, balanced, and aligned self. Reiki with Anna.